Hello everybody. This video is looking at our Causes of World War II assignment. So when you look at it and you open it up, you're going to come to a Google Doc. And we are going to talk through this. I'm going to enlarge this so we can see it a little bit better. Let's go 175. See what it looks like. It's too big. 150. There we go. Okay, so again, we're looking at the causes of World War II. We finished up looking at the Great Depression. So now moving into what is going to be historically known as what ends the Great Depression within the United States, the causes of World War II. So one of the major causes here is going to be the rise of dictators. We talked about in class what dictators are. Dictators are leaders that lead very emphatically. They are it's my way or the highway. They dictate what happens. There is no government process. There is no Congress. There are no checks and balances. This is what I say goes. So World War I and the Great Depression had effects in Europe. It wasn't just in the United States. So within 2 decades after World War I, World War II is brewing in Europe. So there's different reasons why. So the first one that we're looking at is the rise of dictators. So Joseph Stalin. Joseph Stalin came to power after the Russia Revolution in 1917. Russia became the world's first communist state, known as the Soviet Union. So we're not calling it Russia right now. It is the Soviet Union. By the 1920s, Stalin got power and established a brutal totalitarian dictatorship. So total dictator. Again, he did what he wanted to, and nobody was going to stop him. Benito Mussolini. This is the Italian leader at the time. He is a fascist leader. It's a very fascism is a very extreme form of nationalism, almost a military or militaristic type of nationalism, and that's exactly what Mussolini does. He is going to take over militarily and as a political leader for the country. He is going to make an agreement with Germany and Hitler to become partners, and he took advantage of people's fears and their emotions. And within this, again, the leader of Italy. The one that most of you have probably heard of is Adolf Hitler. Hitler comes to power in 1933 in Germany. Again, Germany is slapped in the face after World War I based on everything that they had to accept and pay after World War I. Hitler sees the weakness. He sees that he can come to power by just promising and coming through on some of these promises. And once he starts to, people are jumping on the bandwagon. But the Great Depression led to high levels of unemployment in Germany, and the Nazi leader, Hitler, was able to rise to power. He established a dictatorship that is brutal and in many aspects is going to be worse than Joseph Stalin, which is a tall, tall tale. So the questions here, and if you'll look, I've already got these answered for you. So, who was the leader of the Soviet Union? Joseph Stalin. What did Russia become after the Russian Revolution of 1917? They became the world's first communist state. So communism versus capitalism. Communism is an economic system. Communism is basically we are going to make things as equal as possible. In a capitalistic system, it's more of hard work creates money, which creates a better living situation. Communism sounds good on paper, but it just never really worked out. And that's something that we'll continue to keep our eyes on. What did Joseph Stalin establish? He established a brutal totalitarian dictatorship. Number 4, who was the leader of the Italian fascist? Mussolini. And number 5, how was Adolf Hitler able to rise to power in Germany? The Great Depression led to high levels of unemployment, and this is going to lead to a lot of need. Okay, and that is how he rose to power. The second cause of the Great Depression, the failure of the League of Nations. So, if we look at our questions, so what is collective security? So, collective security is, you think about the word collective, all right? You collect it, so it's together. Security, you're trying to protect. So, this is where peaceful nations came together to stop aggression. So, it's almost like a team. So the League of Nations after World War I was created to stop future wars. Now the problem is, as number 2 identifies, what 2 countries did not join the League of Nations? Well, the biggest countries that did not join, that were the most powerful at that point in time, the Soviet Union and the United States. Neither one of these joined. The League of Nations was weak. They were not able to keep Hitler, Stalin, and Mussolini from coming to power or doing anything about their aggression, and became a real problem. So number 3, what did the League of Nations not enforce? Guess what? It didn't enforce the Treaty of Versailles. The Treaty of Versailles said that Germany had to pay reparations. They had to accept the guilt of the war. That said that they had to keep their military numbers and production at a certain very low level. League of Nations couldn't enforce it. So Hitler, when he came to power, built his military up, built military production, and creates a very aggressive nature within the military in Germany. So number 4, what war did the Treaty of Versailles end? It ended World War I, as we just talked about. And number 5, what did the Treaty of Versailles state Germany had to do? We talked about this: pay reparations, give up land, stop the expansion of their military, and take blame for World War I. Now, there are 3 more pieces to this, and it's not going to take us much longer to get through it. But appeasement fails, the Munich conference. So let's just talk about appeasement real quick. So when you look at appeasement, you have to think about basically you are giving in to someone else's demands in hope that they are going to basically just stop. So Hitler is giving in Europe, they are giving him land, like literally saying, here, take it. And Hitler is saying, okay, thank you, I'm good now. And it just doesn't stop, and it's a continuing process. But Hitler, leader of Germany, promised to expand its boundaries. So, what did Hitler promise Germany he would do? Expand boundaries. So again, make Germany bigger. And they joked in another class saying, make Germany great again. Number 2, which 2 countries promised to give Hitler land? Well, if you look at this, Hitler is going to annex Austria. He's going to annex a piece of land known as the Sudetenland. He is also going to, at first glance, look at France and Britain and be like, hey, dudes, give. And they promise him, okay, fine, we will give you land. But they back out. And Hitler found that to be a very weak thing to do. So, at the Munich conference, they appeased Hitler by giving him part of Czechoslovakia, which avoided war. He just went in and took the rest of it militarily after he only got part of it. And this appeasement policy comes into place. So, number 2, which 2 countries promised to give Hitler land? France and Great Britain. Number 3, what is appeasement? It is giving into someone's demands. And then number 4, how did Hitler view France and Great Britain after they appeased him? Weak. He decided they're weak. You're going to tell me you're not going to give me something, and then you're going to say, okay, here, take it. After they see some things that are happening, he says they're weak. It shows weakness. So appeasement, just to give you an example that you might understand, like if you go to a store and like a kid wants something and the parent tells them no, and they throw a fit, if that parent gives in and gives them what they want, the candy bar, the sucker, the toy, whatever it might be, the soft drink, then they are appeasing that child. They are giving in to their demands. Now, if they carry them out, or just let them throw their fit, they're not appeasing them. Okay, so again, it's very important to understand what the word appeasement means. So the last two pieces. Germany is going to invade Poland on September 1st, 1939. That is the beginning date of World War II. That is what is known as the beginning, the day that it starts. Great Britain and France are going to basically tell Hitler and Germany that if you invade Poland, we will declare war on you. Well, Hitler smiled and went into Poland. So during this time period, Hitler and Stalin, so Germany and the Soviet Union, are going to enter into a non-aggression pact. Okay? This non-aggression pact is exactly that, non-aggression. They are not going to attack each other. Okay? They are going to secretly agree to invade and divide Poland, and then Germany is going to do so. Hitler lied. He invades the Soviet Union, and it becomes one of the downfalls of his decision-making in World War II, but that's for a future discussion. So number one, what did Hitler sign with Joseph Stalin? He signed a non-aggression pact. Where did Germany invade in September 1939? He invaded Poland. Finally, the German type of warfare in a German term is known as blitzkrieg. This word translated into English means lightning war. So this is a rapid, coordinated military plan in which it involved airplanes, tanks, ground troops, and other resources. And they're all moving together at the same time. All right. So what type of warfare, number one, what type of warfare did Germany unveil? It's called blitzkrieg. And what is a blitzkrieg? It's rapid coordinated movements by airplanes, tanks, troop carriers, and infantry. And that is how Germany was taking over Europe. Just so fast and so quick. It's amazing to see what Germany was able to accomplish in such a short period of time after Hitler comes to power. So, this is going to lead us into our next assignment, which is going to look at how the United States is going to become involved in World War II. But these are causes, basic questions. If you have any questions, please let us know. Have a great day.